And welcome back to What If Jaden was the main lead. Was the lead in Duel Monsters, Yugioh Duel Monsters, Part 8. Last time we wrapped up the virtual world arc. I made it apparent. I revealed that Yubel did have a minor hand in that arc, but she's not going to be appearing at least for the remainder of the Battle City arc. And probably not for much, if any, of the Orichalcos arc, Waking the Dragons arc. We'll probably have Yubal show up sometime in between then and the final duel of Dawn of the Duel. Now, and I also wrapped it up without doing the Noah versus, in this case, Jaden fight, because that was a combined duel between Kaiba's deck, Yugi's deck, and that would just get too convoluted too quickly. So, what I decided to do is just move ahead from that, and we're back. I'm also not doing the four-way preliminary duel to decide who's fighting who, because I feel like that's just redundant. We all know it's still probably going to be Joey versus Merrick and Jaden versus Kaiba. So the Joey versus Merrick duel would happen. Jaden is doing his best to try to help. Now, someone reminded me that Jaden's ability as a Supreme King would be to the one who summons the spirits is to bring spirits into the real world. In essence, if he really wanted to, he could summon Yami into the real world, or give Yami a physical form temporarily in the real world. I think he doesn't do that for several reasons. One, that would get awkward quick. But Kaiba then will be asking a lot of questions. Like, so it's been you this whole time? Pharaoh, you're the one I've been dueling this whole time. Well, not all the time, Kaiba. Just Jaden and I have got done about 50-50. Yeah, come on, Kaiba. Shut up. Who am I dueling? Like, you can see Kaiba completely losing his mind on something like that. And for bullshit reasons, like, who the hell have I been fighting? Kind of like his ego in Dark Side of Dimensions, where, yeah, he didn't care about Yugi. I want the Pharaoh. Like, that's what he wanted. Which is apparently a holdover not from the anime where he was there to see the Pharaoh off, but from the manga where he wasn't. The Dark Side Dimension is a sequel to the manga, not so much, less so the anime. And yes, someone reminded me, yes, here's the thing. In the anime, in the movie, we see Kaiba go back to the past. But the implication, there is a sequel ending to that where he's shown playing Yugi's new game with Yugi on his duel tower. But it's also the play he went to the afterlife and died. But if that were the case, at least from a GX standpoint, he wouldn't be around in GX then, because those characters are not that much older in GX. But I don't know if any of I've never read the mangas, by the way. Honestly, of any of the mangas. I find this out secondhand for the Yu-Gi-Oh mangas. I don't know if any of these characters show up, like the original series characters, show up in the GX manga. So it's hard to say how canon him going to the afterlife is. Because obviously we see, in GX, Kaiba's around. He makes a cameo in season... Makes up like a one-shot cameo in the anime for season 1, where Chaz's brothers are taking over. Makes a minor cameo in 1 or 2 episodes, and Kaiba Man's obviously voiced by the same actor. And then in season 4, which by the way, yes, I have seen season 4. So yeah, I actually have watched all of GX. Season 4 never got dubbed, but I have watched all of GX. And GX, believe it or not, GX is actually my favorite of the 3 main series that really was sticking to that I watched: Duel Monsters, GX, and 5Ds. GX was actually my favorite. Particularly season 1 and 2, because while you still had the world-ending threats, it really felt a little more slice of life, which I really dug actually. I like the slice of life aspect of Yu-Gi-Oh. Just like hanging out with your crew in the schoolyard. I liked it. I really enjoyed GX. But where was I going? Where was I going with that entire statement? Oh yeah. Seto's not in the 4th season, but when people are starting to just be absorbed by the darkness, and you have that one, he's multiple of one guy, but that crony for the darkness who's beating everyone, and you see the list of Kaiba Corp members disappearing, you see Seto Kaiba's name on the sheet, but you note that name lingers longer than anyone else. It's very plausible that Kaiba some duelists like Joey, Kaiba, and Yugi, they're like some of the top duelists in the world at that point, probably were able to stave off those individuals long enough for Jaden to beat the main guy. At very minimum, they took a while to be put down, that's for certain. I digress. So anyway, though, Jaden mourns Joey's death, temporary death at any rate, and uses the Millennium Necklace to see that everything will be fine. And so he goes, confronts Kaiba. Now, the question is it Jaden or is it the Pharaoh? And Jaden says, well, you get to take Merrick. I think it's important, because it's important, I think, that the Pharaoh is the one who beats Merrick, and I think Jaden acknowledges that fact. But Kaiba is more Jaden's true rival. And so it's about time you got here. Yeah, don't worry, Kaiba. You and me got scores. Your Egyptian god will be mine. Everyone will see me as the greatest duelist on the planet. It's like, what? And all of a sudden, obviously, the Battle City takes place. So I just want to beat you in style, Jaden. So observe. All right. And so now draw your opening hand. And in that fight, Jaden went first. So Jaden's opening hand consists of Elemental Hero, remember, I do this all at random now. So, Elemental Hero Berstinatrix, Dark Catapulter, Mirror Force. Mirror Force. By the way, someone asked if I could maybe do this on like a simulator. I tried the one they suggested, but I'm not signing up to do it. I'm not signing up for one, basically what I'm saying, because I had to make an account, all that, and I'm just not going to do that, especially for a type of series I'm not going to be doing all that regularly. So it's going to be every couple of non-Naruto what ifs that I'll be doing one. Like after this, you're going to get like a Dragon Ball what if and something else, maybe another Dragon Ball one, and then we'll go back to another one of these. But yeah, anyway, so Mirror Force, Polymerization, Emergency Provisions, which is actually over here because I skipped the other one, and Solemn Judgment as his opening hand. Now, Kaiba's opening hand, we do also know. Kaiba's opening hand consisted of X-Head Cannon, Spell Sanctuary, he had Enemy Controller, he opened with Obelisk the Tormentor, and what was the Soul Exchange, and what was the other card he had in his hand? I wrote this down, too, and it's really bugging me. X-Head Cannon, he's got Soul Exchange. Give me 1 second. I could have swore I would have... I mean, it's not going to make too big a difference, but it makes a big enough difference to me that I do want to at least let you know. Because obviously, I don't have imagery for what was in Kaiba's hand up. And so because of that, I would at least like to be courteous enough to let you know what he had in his hand. And luckily, I go to my good friend, who I don't actually know. I just say, he's all our good friend. TCG Anime, who, by the way, if you have never watched TCG Anime in terms of like any of the stuff he's done, like his Duel Analysis series, or anything along those lines, check him out. He's, in fact, when I get to canon duels that I know are taking place in the series for these what ifs, he's the one I actually go to because he literally breaks down it turn by turn, letting you know what's in the hand, all that good stuff. I love his takes on everything. He's very knowledgeable about the series, far more knowledgeable about the ruling than I have been in many years. So, because I haven't played the game in forever. Every once in a blue moon, I had the urge to maybe pick up some cards. Like I picked up the Slifer and the Cyber Dark structure deck a while ago. So anyway, there we go. So his opening hand consisted of Obelisk the Tormentor, X-Head Cannon, Spell Sanctuary, Lullaby of Obedience, Power Balance, and Enemy Controller. That's what his opening hand consisted of. Now, Kaiba's opening move was to play Lullaby of Obedience. So at first, did he summon X-Head first? He summoned X-Head first. So X-Head Cannon, which I do, 1 second, I do have at least an image of that. X-Head Cannon. There he is. Hey, X-Head, how you doing? X-Head Cannon goes to the field. That's the best image I could find of it, by the way. I couldn't find a good image of him from that duel. So X-Head Cannon gets summoned. He sets Enemy Controller. He also plays Lullaby Obedience, which allows them to search for their deck for any spell card in their deck and put it into their hand. Jaden, because now remember, I changed up Jaden's deck here a little bit. And not all the cards that you put in there show up, but some of them do. I tried to blend it a bit between cards Yugi played, because he was now playing Slifer, and cards Jaden also played. So the card Jaden would take is Pot of Greed. That's the card I chose for him to take. It would make sense. It gives him more cards, and the draw hits. It would be great for having Slifer in hand. He summons Exed Candy. He obviously gets Soul Exchange because he's got his game plan. And Jaden, and then he ends his turn. So now it is, and that's how Kaiba ends his turn. Jaden draws, and Jaden draws the trap card, which is very powerful. And we're going to move Pot of Greed quickly down in a blaze of glory. There we go. Pot of Greed down. We're going to actually get rid of Pot of Greed because he's about to play it. So Pot of Greed's gone. He draws Mirror Gate, which we're going to put you right there. And one more. Ooh, there we go. Mirror Gate. Jaden also plays Pot of Greed. Now, by the way, I did this all at random. I numbered all the cards, and I put a number randomizer on. So the fact that Jaden, with Pot of Greed, draws... Wow, I hate double-clicking. There we go. Draws not one trap card, Hero Emerges, but two trap cards in Disgraceful Charity, which is a card that both him and Yugioh played. In fact, Yugioh plays it in this very duel. They blame the randomizer on that. So Jaden doesn't have anything to get over that X head, but what he does have is a lot of stuff in his hand. So his immediate goal right now is to summon Dark Catapulter into defense mode. The reason for that is Dark Catapulter's effect states that when it's in defense mode on your standby phase, you get a counter on it, and you can keep doing this. And then you can remove cards from your graveyard to remove the card in hand for Dark Catapulter, to remove a counter on Dark Catapulter to destroy a spell or trap on your opponent's field based on the number of counters. It's a little much, but it is not a bad... by the way, I actually forgot to mention, because it was... I just realized, I said it was Jaden's turn, and then went straight to Kaiba. I just screwed this whole thing up, so let's just backtrack real quick. He actually summoned Dark Catapulter first, set Mirror Force and Solemn Judgment, as well as Emergency Provisions, and then ended his turn. And so now his hand consists, right now after Pot of Greed, of Mirror Gate, Hero Emerges, and Disgraceful Charity, as well as Poly. So yeah, Jaden's pretty set. He then would also summon, because he still can't get over Exit Cannon, he would summon his Elemental Bersertrix in defense mode. So yeah, he summons Elemental Hero Bersertrix in defense mode. And I just realized something. I have to get one of these cards off this list because I made a very drastic mistake here. But I'm going to just get rid of... Not you. That's not the one I want to get rid of. There you go. I will have to just say what that card is. I actually don't think I've gotten that card yet in this series. Or played that card yet. Anywho, so he sets that. I think Jaden would, in fact, also set his Disgraceful Charity, as well as his Hero Emerges. Now, why would he do that? Well, hold on a moment, kids, because now it's Kaiba's turn. Now, Kaiba's turn, he draws Interdimensional Matter Transporter. If I'm not mistaken, that's what he drew. And then he played... No, that's not what he played. What did he play? What did he draw? Draws... Sorry, 1 second. I wrote it down, and I wrote it down like chicken scratch, essentially. So, okay, duel... let's see. And then what does Kaiba draw? It's Kaiba's turn. He draws... what was the card he drew? Sorry for the delay, folks. It's one of those things where I wrote it down. It was Interdimensional Matter Transporter. Yep, that's exactly what he draws. It just has a different art. Sorry for being all over the place. I'm trying to get better at these, but I still keep making mistakes because this is a relatively new style of What If for me. So yeah, because I'm using a lot of imagery, I'm doing a lot of work. So yeah, he draws an Interdimensional Matter Transporter. Jaden, by the way, would have blown up his emergency provisions with Dark Catapulter, which means Dark Catapulter is the card that Kaiba has to get rid of. Now, Kaiba activates Soul Exchange for the game, but Jaden activates Solemn Judgment, which by having his life points, or paying off his life points, he can negate the summoning or activation of pretty much anything. Mostly it's just activation of effects, but I chose to also do summoning for the anime. And so, yeah, Jaden goes down to 2,000 life points. However, he also activates then his emergency provisions, getting rid of his Disgraceful Charity, and his Hero Emerges, which brings him back up to a full 4,000. Kaiba then decides, screw you, I'm going to attack. But then Jaden activates Mirror Force, and Kaiba loses all. Kaiba's got nothing. And in his hand, at this point, he has Lullaby of Obedience, Power Balance, Interdimensional Matter Transporter, as well as Obelisk the Tormentor. He's got nothing to summon right now. So we're going to pull these guys back just a little bit, because this is going to be very important now. So Kaiba has no choice but to end his turn. And he doesn't even want to place any cards face down, because he knows Dark Catapulter is going to, and no card he would play would do anything anyway. So no card, because Dark Catapulter is just going to end up getting a counter on there and destroying it. So now it's Jaden's turn, and I believe Jaden did play this card that I'm about to bring up. Jaden draws Spell Striker, a actually uniquely powerful card. Because Spell Striker can be spell summoned by discarding a magic card. Jaden doesn't even do that. By the way, you can tell Jaden's taking the offense now. And it doesn't take battle damage. You don't take battle damage when it's destroyed, and it attacks directly. And it's a card I actually have in my own deck from years ago. Jaden sets his remaining 2 cards, Poly and Mirror Gate, face down, and goes on the offensive, attacking for a grand total of 2,800. Should also know Dark Catapulter does have a spell or counter on it. I believe it's a spell counter, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, right. So then Kaiba draws, and he summons Y Dragonhead in attack mode. I no longer have images for Kaiba's cards, so forgive me on that. He attacks, and he immediately attacks Dark Catapulter, because he's got to get that damn card out of the way. He's still got 1,200, so he can still take a direct attack from Spell Striker. Jaden does now take 500 damage, because really, I mean, well, actually, hold on one second. Because Jaden knows even if he uses Mirror Gate, Kaiba will be down to 100 life points after it, because he'll attack with Spell Striker again. But unfortunately, that won't matter, because Spell Striker will then be destroyed. He's going to get Y Dragonhead back and then attack Spell Striker. So it's actually not a good waste of the card. So unfortunately, Dark Catapulter goes. Jaden is unable to do anything about that. So then Jaden's turn comes, and he draws. And what do I have here for his next draw phase for Y Dragonhead? Well, actually, I had him go after Spell Striker when I wrote it down. However, Kaiba knows that whether Kaiba knows this card can attack directly, because public knowledge is not a thing yet, is up for debate. Because I wrote this duel down to go actually longer than it would go if he attacked. If he attacked Spell Striker. So let's just say Spell Striker went. Dark Catapulter would probably go next. After fact. Well, it does say Dark Caliber's on the field and Spell Striker goes. But it doesn't really matter if Spell Striker's destroyed anyway, because Jaden does draw the Warrior returning alive. Now, he brings back Spell Striker and attacks again with Spell Striker, which would bring him down to 600 life points at that point. Dark Catapulter is now back in defense, however. Same with Burstinatrix. That's what I was trying to get at. So, Dark Catapulter only has still one counter on it. So now Jaden's in a little bit of a pickle, just a little bit, because now Kaiba summons Z Metal Tank to the field, and they're all in defense mode because Jaden has to put him in defense mode. Attacks Spell Striker goes down. Attacks Dark Catapulter, so he can't lose any damage, and because they're in defense mode, it's not going to matter to use Mirror Gauge. So now Jaden is actually on the back foot a bit here. Kaiba would then turn it into YZ Metal Tank, and then set Interdimensional Matter Transporter as well as Power Balance. However, Jaden doesn't have any cards in his hand right now. And so Jaden basically draws, summons Clayman to the field. But that's not a permanent fix, because ultimately, and this is where I messed up, because how my dumbass forgot that Clayman the Clayman and Burstantrix don't make Thunder Giant is beyond me. They make Rampart Blaster, which unfortunately, due to Battle City rules, even with it being summoned in defense mode, can't attack directly yet. Unfortunately, Kaiba probably doesn't know this and continues on summoning his Kaiser. Summoning his Kaiser Seahorse. Should note that I believe YZ Metal Tank is a 2000 attack monster. Let's see here. YZ Metal Tank. Metal Tank. I believe it's YZ, not ZY, because it goes alphabetically. It is its attack is actually that of 2001. And its defense is 20. Okay, cool. But it's a moot point. Can't get over that. Kaiba probably has not met this card yet, and it's kind of a moot point too, because Kaiba's down to 600 life points. So Kaiba, here's the real kicker of all of this right now. Should know that Kaiba at this point would have stolen Slifer. I did forget to bring that up because he uses Lullaby of Obedience. So he would have actually stolen Slifer with Jaden having no way to get Slifer back. But it's really, really irrelevant, because remember, I was doing this at random. So right here, right now, Kaiba has 600 life points. Let's even hypothetically say he's able to shenanigan out Obelisk or Slifer at this point. In fact, actually, Slifer would be the better option here. He attacks, but so Jaden would be almost completely helpless. But I have a feeling he'd go for Obelisk before he goes for Slifer because of his own pride. So do you want to know what card Jaden drew this next turn? Monster Reborn. Which means, even if he summoned Obelisk to the field, destroyed Rampart Blaster, so Jaden couldn't use the effect. Do you want to know what he can bring back? Hold on, I'm actually going to remake the image real quick, just to belabor the point. Do you know what card he could bring back? Spell Trooper, which... It's a little difficult to read this, but I'll read it from my download document here, because that's where the card image is. It doesn't have any issue of being special summoned. In fact, you can special summon it. It's not that it can't be special summoned back from your grave. So 1 second. You can special summon this card from your hand by banishing one spell card from your graveyard. This card can attack your opponent directly and takes no battle damage from attacks involving it. So he just summons back Spell Striker and attacks past Obelisk and defeats Kaiba, who has this massive Egyptian God card with this little 600 attack point GB Knight. And that is why Jaden is the king of games, folks. Screw you and the rules, Kaiba. Screw you and your money. I don't know why that is as funny as it is, but I think it would be really poignant and proving the point that Jaden doesn't need his Egyptian god to beat Kaiba. In fact, I think it would be actually a really good kind of parallel between them, where Kaiba's so obsessed with it, whereas Yugi kind of wasn't, and Jaden probably would. He's using Slifer, he just didn't draw it this duel. But yeah, so Kaiba just can't believe I will not lose in my own tournament. Not doing this thing, no. Almost going into my Gara there. I'm not going to lose to a guy like him. By the way, I'm going to start, I think, with this video, retitling the what ifs. Not because I'm not doing the parts, like the what if this part, whatever. I'm going to be adding more so people can get an idea of what may be happening now in the what ifs. So this will definitely be labeled Battle in the Coliseum. Anyway, Jaden is the winner. Joey wakes up. Jaden's like, Joey! It's like, Jaden, don't worry, man. I'm okay. It's like, awesome. You won. Sweet. And so Merrick is soon going to wait for, Yugi, or Jaden in this case. And like, yes, shuffle wealth. I can't do it. That distorted evil Merrick voice is really hard to do. No, you cheat. Like, normal Merrick's a little easier to, you cheat. How dare you? He just sounds a little like this. But this evil Merrick's more. He's got a seriously deep voice. It's like, but it's really distorted. It's very hard to do. I can do Seto Kaiba pretty well. Yami Yuki is it's not that different. Joey Wheel is not too difficult either. But other characters, like, how do I do a Tristan? Like, Tristan kind of sounds like this a little bit. Actually sounds a little surf bro-ish. Grandpa Moto sounds a bit like this. Like, Weevil Underwood. Like, I can actually do a pretty decent Weevil. And Rex Raptor I can get down. Is there anyone else? Just Battle City off the top of my head I can do. I can do Maximilian Pegasus pretty well. Esperoba just has one of those stereotypical little, somewhat high, a little nasally. Yes, the spirits are coming. Yes, like there's not much of an impression there. Anyone else? Odeon would spoke very deeply and slowly. There's not much. I sound more gentlemanly there. Maybe I'll have to think about who I can do voices of in Wake of the Dragons arc. But for now, yeah, that's part 8. Thanks for watching. See you for part 9 next week. Later.